What up, good people? Back with today's reflection. In today's reflection, I want to touch on this concept that a lot of us grew up with, saying that we should eat 3 to 4 meals a day. Now, while I can understand that, that may be vital for athletes, bodybuilders, people that are active professionally. They need to eat properly like that so they can pack on the muscle, all the carbs, and the energy that they need to perform. But those of us who live regular lives, work regular jobs, 3 meals a day sometimes can be too much, especially if you don't have proper digestion, especially if those 3 meals are not, proper meals like fruits and vegetables, plenty water, uh, lean proteins, good healthy carbs. And a lot of us are not eating that way. If you think about the acronym for the American diet, it's called SAD. The Standard American Diet is acronymed as SAD. And so that's not really a good look because, burgers, you're talking about burgers and fries and pizza and chips and cakes and cookies and things of that nature. That's not good. It's a reason why Americans, the leading cause of death is diabetes, heart disease, obesity, things that are developed by food, the type of food that we eat. Uh, and so what I was talking to God about is we need to reverse that. If we look in the Bible and we think about people like Daniel, we think about Jesus in the wilderness. One thing that they promoted and they touched on was fasting, which means you retain from certain foods or you retain from food altogether. Uh, and if we switch that, from my mindset, if we switch the way we think, instead of eating 3 meals a day and sometimes only praying once a day or not praying at all, what if we prayed 3 times a day, 4 times a day, and only ate 1 meal a day? Because we can sustain on 1 meal a day. We can actually sustain going weeks without food. They did it back in the day when they had to hunt and forage for food. They didn't have the luxury to eat 24/7 around the clock. They didn't have 24-hour electricity. They had to go hunt food, and if they found something, then that food only lasted that day. They didn't have refrigerators. They didn't have ovens and things like that to keep the food and hold the food so you can continue to eat on it day after day after day. And sometimes they weren't even lucky enough to catch anything. And so they had to go forage for berries and herbs and things of that nature. And so just swapping that all out and we praying more than we eating, I think